y'all. So today we are going to do an easy brow tutorial, okay? Let's work on some brows. First, we're going to get our brow lift from e.l.f. I like using this one. It keeps my brows in place when I'm about to shape them. And here I am just here combing it through with my spoolie. Just make sure you touch, all the hairs on those brows so they can stay exactly where you want them to. You don't want an unruly brow. And once you have them, just dry them so that you can work with them. Set them next. I use Black Radiance loose setting powder, and I just set them so they'll stay in place. And here you see me setting the brow. Make sure you set them, and then we're going to clean them up with LA Girl concealer in the shade Fawn and a nice sharp pencil. I'm using a dark brown pencil. So let's get started. So just go along the bottom of your brow and follow your brow line. And it's so simple. Just go along your brow line. Take your time. It's okay if you mess up. You can just do it all over again. But just take your time and follow the shape of your brow. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want your brow to not look, as natural as it can be. So, you can really take your time with this part and make sure you're following the shape of your natural brow. And don't worry if it's not as clean as you want it to be. It's okay. It's okay because you're going to clean it up later. We'll clean it up later. We just want that basic shape there, okay? And you can have the brow as thick or as thin as you like, all right? So we're going to go in with that LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn. And we're going to just take our brush and we're going to start to clean it up. Make sure your concealer brush is a nice flat brush that you can work with, as flat as you can get it, okay? And just go along the shape of the bottom of the brow, as you can see. And take your time with it. Take your time. You don't have to rush this part because we're cleaning up the brow and we're forming it in the shape that you want it to be. So like I said, that brow can be as thick or as thin as you like it. It's your face, it's your choice, it's your preference. So I like mine a little on the thick side, so you're going to see me kind of thinning her up a little bit. I always like to take my time with this part because the eyes are the windows to the soul, right? The eyes are the windows to the soul, and you want to make sure that your brow is looking as natural as you want it to be. Okay, so I am just adding a little bit more concealer. I'm taking it all the way to the bottom of my eye because I also use this kind of as a primer for my shadow. So it has kind of a dual use, the concealer. And again, it's in the shade Fawn, F-A-W-N, Fawn. Okay, and so now I'm just going to hit the top part of my eye. I'm actually using a different color concealer. This one is in the shade Chestnut. It's darker than the Fawn. I like the top of my brow to be colored with the shade a little bit darker, a little bit more closer to my natural tone. So I use that for the top of my brow. And you see how nicely that blends in with my skin? That is in the shade Chestnut. Chestnut. And then you just, you shape it how you want it to be shaped. Once you're satisfied, move over to the other eye and just go ahead and get that started. Like I said, don't worry about the shape in the beginning because you're going to clean it up later. All right, you will clean it up later and just fill it in as you go. All right, we're just going to repeat the same exact step that we did on the original eyebrow. So I'm just going to let you see me do the same step here. Taking my time, making sure that I'm following my lash line, my natural lash line up underneath. And it's a little thick, a little long. So this is where I start cleaning it up. Making it not as long, not as thick. Okay, take your time with this part, all right? It's okay, the eyes are the windows to the soul. We want to make sure they're looking exactly the way we want them to look. And go for pretty, not perfection. I always go for pretty, not perfection. As long as it's presentable and it looks nice to you, then guess what? It looks nice to me, right? That's whatever you want, however you feel. So that it can be as natural as possible. Sometimes I like to amp it up with the thick 1980s Janet Jackson brow, but not today. We're just gonna do a little something natural. Okay? So I'm just kind of looking, making sure that they are as matching as possible. They look almost the same. And I'm going over the top of this brow as well with the chestnuts. bottom concealer that I use under the eye was in the shade Fawn, Fawn, and the one on the top of the eye is Chestnut. Okay? So here you just see me getting ready to clean her up and bring that concealer on down because, like I said, I'm going to use that as my eye primer. This is what I'm using as my primer as well. I'll just be able to put my shadow right on top of that. Right on top of that. And now I'm just going to clean those brows up. Clean everything up. Okay? Take your time with this, y'all. It's okay. You know, we're not in a rush. We just want it to look decent. All right? So we're just bringing that concealer on down. And then I'm just filling in the brow. All right? Just finishing touches here, y'all. Finishing touches. There you go. Yes. And then I'm just going to take my sponge and make sure everything is evened out. All right. There we go. And we are done. We have brows, y'all. We have brow. Hopefully this helps you and hopefully you can do this for yourself, okay? Take care.